Thank you, Chair Webster and Ranking Member Titus, for holding today's hearing. I'm glad we're following yesterday's hearing on building highways, roads, and bridges with this hearing on rail, because the infrastructure bill has helped create 1.6 million construction and manufacturing jobs across the country. These jobs, with good wages and benefits and working conditions, are driving the low 4.1% unemployment rate while modernizing our infrastructure, including our rail infrastructure. But as I said in yesterday's hearing, it makes it hard. This is why it makes it hard to understand how on the first day in office, the administration signed an executive order to halt this progress, putting millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of jobs, and thousands of projects at risk with one section of one of the executive orders. Halting the flow of benefits from these appropriations already approved by Congress is a strange way to launch the golden age of infrastructure. Instead, we need to be working on a bipartisan basis to continue these investments in all modes, in particular, as we discussed today, rail. Let's keep it going. The BIL provided transformational funding for passenger rail, as a for instance. For the first time since the founding of Amtrak, intercity passenger rail has guaranteed funding. 5 years of advanced appropriations that allows Amtrak to address decades of deferred maintenance and begin construction on long-delayed capital projects. Before the BIL, Amtrak would have to wait until Congress completed the annual appropriations process to find out its capital and operating budget. That is no way to run a railroad. The BIL has invested nearly $53 billion for 594 projects to improve rail safety and expand passenger rail travel nationwide. In my state, the Cascadia Ultra High-Speed Ground Transportation Project recently advanced to Phase 2 of the Corridor Identification and Development Program. It will connect communities throughout the Pacific Northwest to include Vancouver, BC, Seattle, and Portland. It will connect workers in my district to jobs. It will increase access to housing. It will offer greater ways for almost 10 million people to get around the Northwest. Similarly, the federal-state partnership for intercity passenger rail is matching billions of dollars in state and private investment in passenger rail improvements. These investments include Brightline West, as Ranking Member Titus noted, and the Southeast Corridor improvements in North Carolina and Virginia. We have a need for guaranteed funding for rail. Public investment is vital to building a truly national intercity passenger rail system. Last week, the FRA released a report in support of additional long-distance service that incorporates feedback from 50,000 stakeholder and public comments. Amtrak will need new equipment and in some cases new stations to address these service improvements. We also have an obligation to ensure rail travel remains safe for people and safe for goods and safe for communities. So I welcome Secretary-Designate Duffy's commitment to safety as the highest priority for the Department of Transportation. I look forward to working with him to reduce accidents and to save lives. Unfortunately, Class 1 freight rail accident and incident rates have not significantly improved over the last 10 years. In my state, there were 202 train accidents, 192 grade crossing incidents, and 21 railroad right-of-way trespasser fatalities over the last 5 years, including a BNSF derailment that spilled over 3,000 gallons of diesel fuel on the Swinomish Indian Reservation in March of 2023. One major cause of incidents is longer trains, and last fall, the National Academies of Sciences published a report detailing the risks posed by long trains, defined as those longer than 7,500 feet. These trains, especially trains made up of several different types of rail cars, are subject to in-train forces that can make it challenging for an engineer to control. I know communities in my district, and I'm certain around the country, express concerns with longer and longer trains, citing derailments. We're working on a few of those issues in my district, including a recent railroad crossing elimination grant in Everett, Washington. These types of grants are available through the FRA and available to any member of Congress's district to apply for, and I encourage you all to consider that. I just want to end by saying that I know everyone on this committee wants to ensure freight rail remains a safe way to transport goods across the country. I look forward to working with all of you to achieve that goal. I'm committed to building on the successes of the investments in the BIL and ensure that this committee can say that America builds rail at hearings for many years to come. And I want to thank the witnesses for being here and look forward to the discussion. Thank you. Yield back.